there's something to early anime where the ideas have to be big enough where if you ever made a proper Hollywood production from the anime, if you ever adapted it, it would just be too expensive. Or the ideas would be so far abstract, the general audience could never absorb it. This is Demon City Shinjuku, today's 31 Days of Dread installment. A city is overrun, a portal to the dark world is open, and we have one dude trying to save the day, and he doesn't want to do it. All the tropes, all the things we know are coming, all the things we love are there, but it's just the way he's presented, and that's how it becomes special. So let's go. It's October, and it's time for the 31 Days of Dread. This is where you get one horror movie a day for the entire month of October. That's how much we love horror. That's how much we love Halloween on the Film Buff Podcast. And here's the crazy thing. This is the longest running horror event in all of podcasting. So get ready. We're going to rock and roll. We're going to scare our socks off. And yes, we're going to be grabbing some candy, maybe some cereal. Let's go. Welcome back to the 31 Days of Dread, my AKAPADers. We're talking anime again. And I know a lot of you may not be familiar with these features, with these ideas, with these concepts, with these creators. Previously on the 31 Days of Dread, we profiled Wicked City, directed by Yoshihiko Kawajiri. He is the guy behind Vampire Hunter D Bloodlust. He has done somewhat of a trilogy of anime horror. His talents is so vast. He was selected by the Wachowski brothers at the time, by the way. They were the Wachowski, or now the Wachowskis, but at the time they were the Wachowski brothers, so that's historically accurate, for the Animatrix, which was the collection of the best of the best of the best in animation, coming to American shores, working on American property. And by animation, I mean Japanese animation. So it was significant that he was even selected for that. And his sequence is great, by the way. I think Animatrix is as good as The Matrix. I feel like you should watch it in accordance to like a Matrix marathon. Watch Matrix, watch Animatrix, then it's Reloaded, Revolutions, and Revelations. I kind of lost track of my Matrix movie subtitles there. So what's the plot of this movie? Well, look, I love scratching at the surface, because sometimes we get things of significance when we hit Wikipedia articles. Wikipedia reminds us that and going right back to Keanu Reeves, since we were just discussing Matrix, Johnny Mnemonic, which arguably is as good as The Matrix, by the way, guys. I know Matrix has some of those popping action scenes, but Johnny Mnemonic is as much of a watch as Matrix. That movie features the fight scene, the opening fight scene from this movie, which is Ruby Ray, not the Ruby Ray from Fifth Element. This is a psychic demon lord. This is a guy that allows himself to get possessed. He fights his mortal enemy. That's how we open. His mortal enemy gets defeated. And the city, here we go. This is what I'm talking about. Hollywood, fund this. I want to know how much it will cost. Upon defeating his mortal enemy in the opening of this movie, which is one of the best anime openings ever, the city opens up. The city becomes Demon City. Shinjuku City becomes Demon City. And then we're off to the races. We're telling a story. We kind of get into a presidential election after the opening. And this dude just wants to dominate, and he's got to get rid of the powers that be. Now, along the way, we have a son. The son now is coming of age. He's a reluctant hero. There's a great sequence where when he becomes aware, where he awakens, he's going to save this girl from being basically raped by demon thugs, and they're like pulling off her clothes, She's setting herself as bait. She sacrifices herself knowing that he might follow her and might save her, but she's also herself somewhat psychic, somewhat powerful. She's a little bit like Caroline, like an anime Caroline that's grown up from Poltergeist. But she sacrifices herself to potentially get this guy aware, and it works, and this dude shreds them, but he's not quite there yet. So we have a hero's journey in the early stages. Now, if we do have to draw a little bit of contrast in comparison to Wicked City. Wicked City is more neo-noir. It's more of a detective that is blundering, and he just wants to kind of get his day over with, and along the way he stumbles into the apocalypse, very much like Schwarzenegger in End of Days. I think that was a real comparison. I should have made that comparison when I recorded that episode. And then here we go. We get wild creature designs. We have some of the best background paintings I've ever seen. The background paintings are so perfectly atmospheric. It's just full of dread. We have fantastic action. This is what Yoshiki, our director, is known for. Just go to Vampire Hunter D Bloodlust to really see the fruition of his directing chops when it comes to his chops. He's chopping action. But no, this guy knows action. Now, we get wild creature designs. Some of them I absolutely love. We have a great looking villain. The villain looks like he's just straight out of the 80s. It looks like it's almost like he could be Sting from Dune. We have one of my favorite tropes, the old lovable character, and we got this in Wicked City, the old lovable character that's going to guide them and give them all the exposition that they need. I love exposition characters. I really do. I don't like them so much in like paranormal, like investigation movies where it's kind of like a college professor that's on like a Zoom call, and he just kind of just rambles off things. And he's like, oh yeah, here's some book, here's some edition from like 300 years ago, and here's a text that's significant. Like we kind of saw something like that in Sinister. I think that guy's played by Vincent D'Onofrio. I like active exposition, and I like zany characters. I love the character design for this old lady. But we get some fantastic imagery. We get imagery in this movie that's there and impactful. Watching this movie, I think a part of the experience is trying to imagine this movie as a live action feature and just seeing how much more expensive it would be, how much more it would cost. Is it unfilmable? I think a lot of this anime, I think Wicked City falls into that category. I think Vampire Hunter D and Hunter D Bloodlust, I think Akira, Lensman all fall in this category of being unfilmable. And we're seeing these challenges come to fruition now. That's why when people are so critical of Ghost in the Shell, even though they, or Battle Angel Alita, they cannot take a step back and enjoy something. Demon City Shinjuku is available right now on Amazon Prime. I love the premise. I love the setup. And I like the hero's journey in this feature. You have to check it out for the 31 Days of Dread. Can I say that? Now, before I sign off, I want to say we were approaching somewhat the last final days, the last full week of the 31 Days of Dread. There will be an onslaught of episodes. I'm doing content dumps. Recording wise, we are so far ahead of recording already. We're doing thanks flicking, so expect a good run. Expect 2 drops some days. The 8 a.m. and the 8 p.m. drops may come back in November. We're trying to decide that. We're trying to make some of that happen. All right, AKAPAD, subscribe, support, leave a comment. Let me know if you're on YouTube. Let me know that you're out there. The YouTube stuff really seems to be spiking, and holy crap, I love bringing you guys this, but this might be the last anime for a little bit. We have Monster House. That might be the last animation we have. I'm not going to sacrifice 2 of the later days of the 31 Days of Dread for animation. Monster House just may drop on a Saturday. We'll find out. We'll find out. But guys, we do have one more animation coming. Rock and roll. Thanks for hanging out. AKAPADers, thank you for joining me for another episode of the 31 Days of Dread. We have been dedicated to horror for a long time on this feed, on this podcast. If you guys want to know more about everything we do here, go to akapad.com. From there, you can navigate to the 31 Days of Dread. We have a dedicated landing page that goes through all the years of the 31 Days of Dread, and we also have a directory that jumps you to any movie that we've done. So you can just look up the movie by name, you can go to the directory, it's all alphabetical, and you can just explore. And that's the intent, and that's why we're so into the 31 Days of Dread, because no one's done this. No one has put this much time, this much thought and effort into American horror and international horror, and we love it. Horror is the future of American cinema. Horror right now is holding up American cinema, and I'm so thankful for it. So I'm hoping that you can extend yourself, explore, and continue the conversation. akapad.com. Thanks, guys.